All right, thank you everyone for joining the Office of Global Experiences virtual Fall Fair. So today we have a live information session with Han Applied Sciences University in the Netherlands. And Ingrid Lecoultre is going to be here right now to give a presentation on what you can do with our Exchange University Han. So without further ado, Ingrid.
Hi, thank you, Dan. I'm going to first try and share my PowerPoint. So hope it works. I don't know, I need the other. Okay, can you see the PowerPoint or?
Yeah.
You can. Okay, I just need to change the screen so that I can. Okay. Okay, just checking if the PowerPoint is now correctly shared. Okay, well, welcome everyone. My name is Ingrid Lecoultre. I work at Han University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about, firstly, the Netherlands and then about our university. Firstly, let me introduce to you the Kingdom of the Netherlands. We are a kingdom. We have a royal family, and we are a tiny country in the western part of Europe. Just to give you an idea how small we are, to travel from north to south takes you about 4 hours by car, and from the coast to the German border is about 2.5 hours. So if you compare it to the United States, it's very, very tiny. We are relatively densely populated. We have about 18 million inhabitants. And as you may know, we reclaimed a lot of our land, as about 1/4 of our land is below sea level. So we have a lot of dikes protecting our land, and we've increased the size of our country by reclaiming some of that land. It's very easy to get around in the Netherlands. We have a very good transport system, public transport system, so trains, buses, trams. It's very easy to get around, so you don't need a car. We're also considered the gateway to Europe in terms of trade. So we have a very large, one of the largest ports in the world in Rotterdam. And Amsterdam Schiphol Airport is where a lot of, it's a very big trading hub where a lot of cargo passes through to the rest of Europe. As I mentioned, we're a kingdom. This is a photograph of our Dutch family, a royal family, sorry. And they are called the House of Orange. So orange is our national color, even though the national flag is red, white, and blue. Our king is called King William Alexander, and he is married to Queen Maxima, and she is actually from Argentina originally. As I mentioned, we're a very small country, which is why we're also very internationally oriented. And that also means that most Dutch people, or most people living in the Netherlands, speak more than one language. So next to Dutch, we all speak English, and quite a large number of the population also speaks French and German. Another form of transport, which is very popular in the Netherlands because we're a relatively flat country, are bikes. So we tend to bike everywhere, which is cheap and very convenient. Another thing that we like to do, because we're such a small country, is to travel. So we like to travel within Europe, but also outside Europe. Most of our summer holidays are spent abroad, so it's quite normal to go abroad on holiday. To give you an idea of our location, it's about 3 hours by train to get to Paris, and London and Berlin are also very close by. Okay, this is a photograph of our Arnhem campus, but we also have a campus in another city called Nijmegen, which is about 20 minutes drive from Arnhem. We're located on the German border. I'll show you later on where that is. And our university has 4 disciplines. So we offer courses in business management and law, in education, in engineering, and in health and social studies. And we have about 34,000 students spread over both campuses. I actually work for the Arnhem International School of Business. So we have a partnership with the University of Whitewater, and so does our Academy of Communication and Information Technology. Most of the information I'm going to be telling you about relates to the business school, but you can obviously find more information about the other programs on our websites. Firstly, these 2 schools are situated in Arnhem, on our Arnhem campus. And as you can see, we are situated right on the German border. We actually have quite a lot of German students that study with us. Even though they live in Germany, they commute to Arnhem to study on our campus. We're about an hour by car from Amsterdam, so relatively close, and we're a medium-sized city for Dutch standards. We have about 157,000 inhabitants, of which around 10,000 are students. If you know anything about European history, you may know that Arnhem was involved in the World War II. A very important battle took place here called Operation Market Garden. And there was actually a film made about this battle, the Battle of Arnhem. And the film's called A Bridge Too Far. So if you're interested, I would definitely recommend watching it. Just to give you an idea of what Arnhem looks like, these are 2 photographs of the city centre. Because our campuses are not as large as American campuses, most of our students' sort of non-educational activities take place off campus, so in the city centre. As you can see, we have a lot of terraces where you can sit outside during the summer. And we have shopping in car-free zones as well. Further afield, we are quite a green city, so we have a lot of parks. And for just outside the city, we have a large national park where you can go biking. The bicycles that you see there are free, so you take a bus to the gates of the national park, and you can just take a bicycle and cycle through the park. In the park, there is a museum called the Kriller-Müller Museum, which is the top photograph. And then we also have some other museums that are quite interesting. We have an open-air museum, which gives you a really good idea of what life was like in the Netherlands in the past. And the Airborne Museum is specifically about the Second World War. Okay, so if you come on exchange to us, to the Netherlands, what can you expect? Now, firstly, if you're an American citizen, it means that you are not, you don't have European nationality. You'll require a residence permit if you're American. If you have a different nationality, you may also require a visa. Basically, if you come for longer than 3 months, then which is on a normal semester exchange, we will apply for these for you. If you come for a short course, which is usually around 3 weeks, then you can just apply for, you don't have to have a visa actually, you can come as a tourist. The closest airport is Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, and it takes about an hour by train to get to Arnhem. So the train station is at the airport, easy to find, and easy to get to Arnhem. All our exchange students live together, and in student accommodation that we don't own the student accommodation, but we rent it from housing agencies. We have a number of hospitals in the area, lots of medical facilities. And also we have some student sports well, we have lots of sports facilities in the city. And because we don't actually have a large campus, we don't offer sports on campus, but we do, it is possible to get a student sports card, which gives you discount for all sorts of sports in the area. We have a student association that also organizes a lot of sporting events that you can participate in free of charge. Okay, on campus, we have, we work with small classrooms, so we don't have a lot of large lecture halls. That is our system of education. We're a University of Applied Sciences, so we work in relatively small groups of around 25 to 30 students at a time. Each building has a cafeteria. We have a multimedia center where you can borrow all sorts of educational material. We have a cafe on campus and campus shop, etc. In the business building, we have something called a base camp, which is where students can meet up together or meet up with their lecturers and just hang out. At the start of the semester, we always have an international introduction program. So that would be for all the exchange students and the other international degree-seeking students. So that's usually quite a large event. We'll show you around campus. We'll give you all sorts of information to help you out. And during the introduction, we also have Dutch buddies that can show you around and answer any of your questions. During the semester, you'll have an academic coordinator who also would be your study coach. So if you have any academic problems or personal problems, you can always contact her. If you need special assistance for your studies, for example, if you're dyslexic or you need more time with exams, we can make those arrangements for you as well. So all those facilities are available on campus. And we also have student counselors and psychologists if you have more serious problems. Okay, the exchange program. So you can choose to do a semester exchange, which would mean either 1 or 2 semesters. Our first semester starts at the beginning of September and finishes in the 3rd week of January. And our second semester starts at the beginning of February and usually ends towards the end of June, beginning of July. Within the business school, we have the International School of Business Exchange Program. And then within the Academy of Communication and Information Technology, we have at least 2 programs. The one is Create a High-End Video Game, and the other one is Scripting for Designers. As I'm not from that school, I don't know that much about those exchange programs, but if you are interested, I can always pass you on to the person who could help you out with more information. And obviously, it's all available on our website as well. Within the business school, we also offer a winter and a summer school. So the winter school is in January, and the summer school is usually the last week of June and the first 2 weeks of July. We have 2 short courses that are offered in those periods. The one is European Culture, Business and Entrepreneurship, and the other one is Supply Chain Management, and I'll tell you a little bit more about those later. Within the Business Exchange Program, you have 2 options. The first is to design your own program, which means you select a number of courses from this list that you would follow for the full semester. So normal study load would be 4 courses, but it all depends on how many courses you have to take for your university, for your credits. As you can see, it's relatively broad, so finance, marketing, management, logistics. We also have a very nice international entrepreneurship course. And if you're interested in learning more about our culture and our language, we have a special course for exchange students called Dutch Culture and Language as well. In addition to the exchange program, we also have what we call block exchange programs. These are full semester programs within one of our degrees. So we have a communication degree and we have an international business degree with various specializations. Those are our full degree programs, and we also have 2 semester programs. The one is Asian Studies and the other one is Latin American Business Studies. Now these programs are slightly less flexible than the Design Your Own program, so it's not possible to combine the courses within these programs with the courses in the Design Your Own program because of our scheduling system. It's quite complicated, so we do a lot of project work, so it makes it quite difficult to have schedules that stay the same throughout the semester. But if you want to do a full semester within one of these degrees, that's also possible. Okay, so where will you live if you come to Arnhem for a full semester program? We don't have on-campus accommodation, but we do arrange accommodation through a housing agency. And for our exchange students, we guarantee them accommodation so that you don't have to worry about finding your own. It's all self-catering, so you share an apartment with 2 or 3 other students, have your own kitchen, or at least you share a kitchen with those students, and you would have your own bedroom, which is furnished. We don't have any meal plans on campus, but so you basically be cooking your own meals. All our international exchange students live together, so they form quite a tight community, and it's therefore very, very easy to make friends because you're all studying together, all living together. The accommodation is in the city centre, so it's within about a 2-minute walk from the train station and the bus station, and it's within walking distance of the city centre. A lot of students also get a bicycle for the semester and cycle to campus, which is about 15 minutes. Here are just some photographs of the accommodation. This was taken before there were students living there, as you can see. So there's a communal sitting room come kitchen, there's a bathroom, and you have your own bedroom, and there are about 95 students living in this building at one time. Student life, as I mentioned, most of our student life takes place off campus, so in the city centre, and we have a very active international student association who organise social activities in the city centre, sometimes on campus, so sometimes films on campus. They also organise guest speakers and trips to other parts of Europe that you can join. And at the end of every semester, they organise a gala. So in the summer semester, they usually organise the gala on a boat because Arnhem is situated on the River Rhine. So they organise a boat gala, and then in the winter, it's in a different venue. Okay, then we have the summer and the winter schools. There are 3 weeks, and usually small groups, so we don't accept more than 25 students at a time. So you'd work in small groups. The lectures are very, very interactive. It's very hands-on, and there's a lot of personal coaching as well. You would work in groups on projects, and there are a lot of company visits and cultural excursions included in the program. As I mentioned, they take place last week of June, first 2 weeks of July, and in the winter in January. The total workload is 100 hours. So it is a full-time program. This is just the European culture, business and entrepreneurship. So there's a bit of business involved. There's some European and Dutch culture. And there's also quite a lot of skills training. So you'd learn presentation skills, some entrepreneurial skills, personal management skills. So it's quite, there's quite a lot of coaching involved as well. And there's a research project that you do throughout the 3 weeks, with 1 or 2 fellow students, and then you present it at the end of the course, and that is how you get your grade. We also have supply chain management, so if you're interested in logistics, this is more specific, this program, and there are some company visits to, for example, the Port of Rotterdam or the Royal Flora Holland Flower Show, auction, sorry. And then throughout the whole program, there is a case study that we work on with a group, and you present that at the end of the course as well. The accommodation for our winter and summer schools is slightly different because they take place while our exchange students are still on campus. So we can't use the exchange student accommodation, and therefore use a bed and breakfast in the city centre and a youth hostel just outside the city centre, but with easy access to our campus and also the city centre via public transport. Okay, as I said, it's a full-time program, but on weekends there's enough time to travel. So we also organize excursions on weekends. So if you want to join those, you can. So you can either go to other parts of the Netherlands, or you can go and visit other parts of Europe. As I said, we're very close to a lot of cities, so it's quite easy to spend a weekend visiting a city in the within Western Europe. Okay, so that was all the information that I have. This is our contact information. You're welcome to send an email, text message if you have some questions for me. We also are on Facebook and Instagram. So we have 3 Facebook pages at least. So the one is the general university page. The other one is specifically for the International School of Business. And then our housing office also has a Facebook page. And then Instagram, we also have some Instagram. We're quite active on Instagram. So the ISB International Community, that is specifically for the business school. They organize all sorts of events as well for international students. And then we have Arnhem International and ISA Arnhem, that is the International Student Association. And then finally, if you're interested in looking at 2 videos that we've made recently, one is a campus tour, so it gives you an idea of what the campus looks like. And the other one is a film that was made with one of our exchange students 2 years ago. And we call it 5 Reasons to Go on Exchange, and it shows you a little bit about Arnhem, and about our campus and their student accommodation as well. So take a look at those on our website. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions? See if I can,
Thanks, Ingrid. I'm just, and usually stops the recording at this moment. So. His video.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Oh, he is.
I'm trying to now unshare the. Hold on, how does this work?